Let's get right into it. Number 8. Turning water into wine. The first sign. At a wedding in Cana, joy turned to embarrassment when the hosts ran out of wine. In that culture, this wasn't just inconvenient, it was deeply shameful. Mary brought the problem to Jesus, and though he first replied that his hour had not yet come, she trusted him enough to tell the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." 6 large stone jars were filled with water at his command, and when drawn out, the water had become wine. Not only enough to finish the feast, but the best wine anyone had tasted. This first miracle revealed Jesus' glory in a quiet but profound way. He took what was ordinary and transformed it into something extraordinary. It showed his compassion for a family's need, but it also pointed to his greater mission, replacing empty ritual with a new covenant of joy and abundance. The lesson for us today is trust. Even when what we bring feels small or ordinary, in His hands it can be transformed into something that reveals His presence and glory. Number 7. Calming the storm. Peace over chaos. The Sea of Galilee was notorious for sudden storms, and one night, as Jesus and his disciples crossed in a boat, a violent wind arose. Waves crashed over the sides, and fear gripped the disciples. Meanwhile, Jesus slept in the stern, undisturbed. In desperation, they cried, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jesus stood, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." Instantly, the waters calmed. The disciples, now more afraid of what they had seen than the storm itself, asked, "Who is this that even the wind and the waves obey him?" This miracle revealed Jesus' divine authority. Unlike prophets who prayed for God to act, he commanded creation directly. The storm showed his identity as the creator, the one whose word shaped the universe. The lesson is clear. Storms of life are unavoidable, but his presence brings peace greater than fear. He may not always calm the storm immediately, but he calls us to trust that he is in control, even when the waves still rage. Number 6. Feeding the 5,000. Abundance in scarcity. By late afternoon, a crowd of thousands who had gathered to hear Jesus teach grew hungry. The disciples saw only the problem: no food, no money, and no way to feed so many. Yet a boy had 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. It seemed laughably small. Jesus took the offering, gave thanks, and began to distribute it. In his hands, the food multiplied until every person was satisfied. When it was over, 12 baskets of leftovers remained, more than what they had started with. This miracle showed Jesus' compassion for physical needs and revealed his identity as the true bread of life. Just as he provided for the crowd, he offers himself as the one who satisfies our deepest hunger. For us today, the message is clear. God doesn't ask for what we don't have. He asks us to bring what we do have, however small, and trust Him to multiply it. What looks insufficient in human eyes can become abundant when surrendered to Christ. Number 5. Walking on water. Faith above fear. Later that night, the disciples were caught in another storm while rowing across the lake. In the darkness and wind, they saw Jesus approaching, walking on the water. Terrified, they thought it was a ghost. But he called out, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." Peter, bold in faith, asked to come to him. At Jesus' word, Peter stepped out of the boat and actually walked on the waves. Yet when he noticed the wind and fear overtook him, he began to sink. Jesus immediately reached out, caught him, and said, "Why did you doubt?" This miracle was not only about power over nature, but about trust. When Peter focused on Jesus, he rose above the storm. When he looked at the waves, he sank. The lesson is timeless. Storms will always come, but faith fixes our eyes on the one who is greater than the waves. Number 4. Healing the blind man, light for the world. In Jerusalem, Jesus encountered a man blind from birth. Many wondered whose sin had caused his condition, but Jesus corrected them. This happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. Jesus spat on the ground, made mud, and placed it on the man's eyes. He told him to wash in the pool of Siloam. The man obeyed, and for the first time in his life, he saw. The healing caused uproar. Neighbors were shocked, and religious leaders interrogated him. The man's testimony was simple. "One thing I know, I was blind, but now I see." This miracle revealed Jesus as the light of the world. Restoring physical sight pointed to his power to open spiritual eyes. While leaders who claimed sight remained blind to the truth, the man who had lived in darkness recognized Jesus for who he was. The lesson is this: spiritual blindness is often more dangerous than physical blindness. Jesus alone brings the light that enables us to see clearly, both in this life and in eternity.
Number 3. Casting out demons, freedom from darkness. On the eastern side of the Sea of Galilee, Jesus met a man possessed by many demons. He lived among tombs, tormented and violent, beyond the help of anyone. Chains couldn't hold him, and people avoided him in fear. When Jesus approached, the demons within the man cried out, recognizing his authority. At his command, they left the man and entered a herd of pigs which rushed into the lake and drowned. The man was transformed, clothed, calm, and sitting at Jesus' feet. He became a living testimony of freedom and healing. This miracle revealed Jesus' authority over spiritual forces of darkness. No chain, no torment, and no evil power could withstand his command. It also showed that no life is beyond his reach. Where human effort fails, Jesus restores. For us today, the story reminds us that real battles are often spiritual. But in Christ, deliverance and freedom are possible. He still brings light where darkness reigns. Number 2. Raising Lazarus, life from death. In Bethany, Lazarus, a close friend of Jesus, had died. By the time Jesus arrived, he had been in the tomb 4 days. Martha and Mary both grieved, telling him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." For the family, it turned mourning into joy. For the religious leaders, it triggered greater opposition. Number 1. The resurrection of Jesus, the miracle of miracles. After his crucifixion, Jesus' body was placed in a tomb, sealed by stone and guarded by soldiers. From every human perspective, the story was over. But on the 3rd day, the stone was rolled away, and the tomb was empty. With it, hope was secured for all who believe. The lesson is simple yet profound. Because he lives, we can face life and even death with unshakable hope. The resurrection is not just a miracle, it is the miracle that gives meaning to them all. That's all for today.
I'll be making more videos like this, so subscribe if you don't want to miss them.